Up there.
Can the legislators hear us and the interpreters?
Yes.
I can hear you. Thank you.
Perfect.
Is there no interpreter? Oh, they're there. Okay, the September 9th, 2025 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Barnhart. Ms. Barnhart is present. Ms. Bartholomew McCoy.
Here.
Ms. Bartholomew McCoy is present. Mr. Baines.
Here.
Mr. Baines is present. Mr. Blankley. Mr. Blankley is present. Ms. Bonnick.
Here.
Ms. Bonnick is present. Mr. Brew. Mr. Brew is present. Mr. Burgess.
Here.
Mr. Burgess is present. Mr. Chardy. Mr. Chardy is present. Mr. Colby.
Here.
Mr. Colby is present. Mr. Cruz.
Presente.
Cruz is present. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman is present. Mrs. DeFlorio. Mrs. DeFlorio is present. Mr. Dondorfer. Mr. Frazier.
Here.
Mr. Frazier is present. Ms. Hasman. Ms. Hasman is present. Ms. Hugh Smith. Ms. Hugh Smith is present. Mr. Johns. Mr. Johns is present. Mr. Keller. Mr. Keller is present. Mr. Long. Mr. Long is present. Mr. Mafucci.
Here.
Mr. Mafucci is present. Mr. McCabe. Mr. McCabe is present. Ms. McIntyre. Ms. McIntyre is present. Mr. Milne. Mr. Milne is excused. Mr. Morris.
Here.
Mr. Morris is present. President Roman.
Here.
President Roman is present. Mr. Sinclair. Mr. Sinclair is present. Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith is present. Ms. Vasquez Simmons.
Here.
Ms. Vasquez Simmons is present. Mr. Udelson. Mr. Udelson is present.
Thank you. Please stay seated. I'd like to welcome Father Lance Gagno of St. Kateri Parish, who has been invited by Legislator Long to lead us in a moment of prayer. Thank you and welcome.
Well, thank you, everyone. Happy to lead in an opening prayer. Almighty God, we ask your blessings and gratitude for this beautiful day in September as we gather. We ask your special blessings upon this legislative body. Certainly grant them the gifts of wisdom and of insight and of discussion, which benefits the community of which is served here in Monroe County. Bless all the people that we serve, and certainly bless those that are in need or marginalized. Allow all of us to be witnesses of hope and messengers of grace. We ask your blessings upon all our elected officials and all the challenges that they face, and blessings upon all those who work for public safety and all the challenges and dangers that they face each day. We ask you to bless our families in gratitude for all the support that we give and that we have been given. And we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Father Lance Gagno, for being here. Let's do the certificate. Please stand as Legislator Bonnick will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Bonnick.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Bandera
of
de
the
los
States
Estados de América y
to the
la
republic which
que
is
representa
nation
una nación bajo Dios,
for liberty and justice for all.
justicia para todos.
Thank you. At this time, I ask that you remain standing. Without objection, we will take agenda item number 26 out of the regular agenda order. Agenda item number 26 is moved by Legislator Udelson and seconded by Legislator Brew, expressing regret of the Monroe County Legislature on the recent passing of Phyllis A. Miller, mother of Monroe County Legislator Tracy DeFlorio.
Expressing regret of the Monroe County Legislature on the recent passing of Phyllis A. Miller, mother of Monroe County Legislator Tracy DeFlorio. Be it resolved that the Monroe County Legislature hereby expresses its deepest sympathy at the recent passing of Phyllis A. Miller, mother of Monroe County Legislator Tracy DeFlorio. And whereas Phyllis passed away on August 22nd, 2025, born to Howard and Marion Morrison, lifelong residents of the 19th Ward, she was the oldest of 3 children. And whereas Phyllis dedicated more than 35 years to teaching elementary students in the Kendall Central School District, where she guided and inspired countless young minds. instilling in them perseverance, kindness, and curiosity, and leaving an indelible mark on the lives of her students and their families. And whereas, in addition to her career as an educator, Phyllis gave freely of her time as a volunteer at Unity Hospital for more than 20 years, providing support, compassion, and comfort to patients and their families during some of life's most difficult moments. And whereas Phyllis embraced life with joy and energy, cherishing friendships in her longtime card club and roomie club group, enjoying many years as a member of the Lakeshore Country Club Women's Golf League, and spending afternoons on the golf course with her husband Dave, her brother Bob, and sister-in-law Cheryl. She also delighted in traveling with her husband to explore historic sites along the East Coast and treasured additional trips with her teacher friends, creating lifelong memories through her journeys. And whereas Phyllis was also celebrated for her love of reading, often sharing books with family and friends, for her renowned baking, especially her rhubarb and peach pies with her unforgettable crust, and for her leadership of an exercise group at the Parklands, which reflected her commitment to community and wellness. Whereas Phyllis was predeceased by her parents, Howard and Marion, her beloved husband David, and her cherished daughter Lori Zorn, and is survived by her loving daughter Tracy and Dan DeFlorio, her treasured grandchildren Nicholas, Michael, and Lorelei, her siblings Bob and Cheryl Morrison, and Patty and Ted Kachmar, and many more family members and friends who will forever hold her memory in their hearts. And whereas Phyllis Miller will be remembered as a gifted teacher, tireless volunteer, loving mother and grandmother, and a woman whose kindness, loyalty, and dedication touched the lives of all who knew her. Be it resolved that the clerk of the legislature is hereby requested to forward a copy of this resolution to the bereaved family. This resolution was adopted unanimously, with each legislator rising in his or her place for a moment of silence.
Thank you, and our condolences. We'll now move on to the approval of journal. Your copies of day A, August 12th is available through Novus Agenda. Without exception, this journal will stand approved as submitted. Legislators, the referrals submitted to the legislature for the next committee cycle are available on Novus Agenda as well as online. I'd like to take a point of privilege to make an announcement. Would love to congratulate our clerk, David Clark, for making 15 years of service to Monroe County Legislature. Oh, Glenn. You've been. I'll say that again. I gave you the last name Clerk. My apologies for as long as you've been here. David Grant, for 15 years of service to the legislature. So thank you. All right. Yeah, Dave, the right one. Thank you. And Mr. Clerk. Yeah. There are several proclamations scheduled this evening.
Would Jeff Baker please come forward? Also, President Yaversha Roman and legislators Tracy DeFlorio and Robert Colby.
Whereas Jeff Baker has dedicated 37 years of his life to public service in libraries, beginning with the Rochester Public Library and culminating with 18 years of distinguished leadership as director of the Chi-Li Public Library. And whereas under his guidance, the Chi-Li Public Library not only underwent key renovations to its former building, but ultimately became part of the new Chi-Li Community Center, a state-of-the-art facility that unites the library, recreation department, and senior center, providing residents with a vibrant hub for learning, recreation, and connection. And whereas Jeff was instrumental in securing a construction grant from New York State to help fund the building and furnishing of this new facility, ensuring it would serve generations of Chi-Li residents to come, as well as being a committed and active member of the Gates Chi-Li Chamber of Commerce. serving faithfully as secretary, as well as contributing to the Gulf and program committees, helping raise funds for local library friends organizations, and recognizing community members and businesses through the annual Community Awards Gala. And whereas Jeff was also a driving force behind the creation of the Chi-Li Public Library Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to building an endowment that will provide a sustainable source of funding for the library's future programs and initiatives. And whereas Jeff Baker's vision, dedication, and leadership have strengthened not only the Chi-Li Public Library, but also the broader community through his unwavering advocacy for literacy, education, and civic engagement. Now, therefore, we, Iversha Roman, President, Tracy DeFlorio, Legislator, District 3, and Robert J. Colby, Legislator, District 20, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize and honor and congratulate Jeff Baker on his retirement from his many years of service to the Monroe County community.
Would you like to say a few words? Sure. Thank you. It only took me 37 years to get here. I would like to thank the county legislature and in particular Tracy DeFlorio. She's had unwavering support and advocacy for the Chi-Li Public Library over the years. I can't think of a better career than to be a librarian in the Monroe County Library System. I believe that the Monroe County Library System libraries are some of the best in the country. And a lot of that is due to the great support that we have from our patrons and support that we have from our town supervisors, the city, and the county legislators like you. I just want to give you an example. Recently, you've made accessible $3 million of ARPA funds to the MCLS, Monroe County Library System. And that has allowed us to do the Wired for Opportunity initiative. And so as a past library director, that allowed me to provide new database for our patrons so they can train and learn new things. Also provided computer literacy programs, made accessible Wi-Fi, MiFis to the patrons. And so these are things that we couldn't have done without your help. So really appreciate that. As was read, I was fortunate to have been involved with the building of the Chi-Li Public Library. It's a unique place. If you haven't been there, come visit because it's part of the Chi-Li Community Center, which has the library, the recreation department, and the senior center all under one place. Really proud of that place. It has study rooms for the public. It has an expanded children's room, heated floor, by the way, in the children's area, a teen room, and we're really proud of our Makerspace Spark Lab. That's always involved with our patrons during our open hours. So come and visit if you can. So thank you for this recognition, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Would members of the cancer support community at Gilda's Club please come forward? Also, President Iversha Roman and Legislator Linda Hasman.
The Monroe County Legislature recognizes cancer support community at Gilda's Club. Whereas it is the sense of this legislature to honor and celebrate the people and organizations which make Monroe County a better place to live. And whereas attendant to such concern, the legislature is justly proud to honor the cancer support community at Gilda's Club for their unwavering support of those who have been impacted by cancer. And whereas for decades, cancer support community at Gilda's Club has been offering services and support for people with cancer, their families, and their friends. They offer a personal approach, believing strong emotional and social support is critical to fighting cancer. And whereas Gilda's Club offers a series of programs from health and wellness to expressive art and creative expression aimed to restore, support, and teach those impacted by cancer. Acknowledging the importance of having a safe and supportive community, Gilda's Club also offers a series of support groups where members can share coping strategies, connect with individuals, and express thoughts and feelings openly with other families and individuals diagnosed with cancer. And whereas, in addition to the support offered to those living with cancer, Cancer Supports community at Gilda's Club began providing cancer outreach and advocacy services to our community's particularly particularly focusing on local communities of color in order to address health disparities which exist in our society. And whereas dedicated to wellness, Cancer Support Community at Gilda's Club works tirelessly to provide a safe, welcoming space for those touched by cancer and allow them to feel they are not alone, reminding all our community are stronger than cancer. Now, therefore, let it be known that we, Iversha Roman, President, Linda Hasman, Legislator, District 23, do hereby honor the Cancer Support Community on this 9th day of September 2025.
Sure, absolutely.
So good evening. First of all, we have a gala in 3 weeks. Whoever wrote that, I want them to come to my gala and write my speeches for me. It would be awesome. But seriously though, huge thanks to the Monroe County Legislature for recognizing the great work that Gilda's Club does in this community. This really showcases the hard work that our staff and our volunteers do every day, impacting lives here that have been unfortunately impacted by cancer. We provide over 1,000 programs a year to over 5,000 individuals. So the work is never ending. And again, huge thanks to be honored tonight and recognized for the work that we're doing. If you've not been to see us over on Alexander Street, open door, open invitation. Our red door never closes on Alexander. So you're welcome to stop by and say hello. So again, huge thanks and thank you.
Would members of the Sheriff's Department please come forward? Also, President Iversha Roman, Legislators Michael Udelson, Steve Brew, and County Executive Adam J. Bello.
Whereas the Office of Sheriff has stood as an integral part of the criminal justice system in both New York State and Monroe County since its establishment in the state's first constitution of 1777, which has continued in every succeeding constitution and is recognized as one of the original constitutional offices upon the founding of our county. And whereas throughout its long and distinguished history, the Office of Sheriff has adapted to changes in function, status, and powers while maintaining a continuous presence, preserving its unique heritage, and remaining an essential pillar of the criminal justice system in our community. Today, the Office of Sheriff has evolved into a modern, professional, full-service law enforcement and corrections agency, staffed by highly trained deputies and correctional officers, utilizing state-of-the-art technology and applying the most advanced practices in law enforcement and corrections. And whereas the duties of the sheriff extend far beyond the traditional role of keeper of the peace, encompassing the supervision of county jails, providing courtroom security, dispatching emergency services, serving civil process for our courts, and engaging in many other vital areas of public service. As a constitutionally established office directly accountable to the people, the Sheriff's Office remains, even today, responsive, transparent, and dedicated to the community it serves. And whereas it is both fitting and proper to celebrate the enduring historical contributions of the Office of Sheriff and to honor the essential role that Sheriff Todd Baxter and the members of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office play in protecting public safety and strengthening our justice system. Now, therefore, we, Monroe County Executive Adam J. Bello, Monroe County Legislature President Iversha Roman, Majority Leader Michael Udelson, Republican Leader Steve Brew, and the members of the Monroe County Legislature do hereby proclaim September 14th through 20th, 2025 to be Sheriff's Week.
So on behalf of Sheriff Todd Baxter, I just want to say thank you for this proclamation. He's currently in Albany as he's serving on the accreditation council to ensure that the police departments in New York State can get accredited. So, that's the sheriff always working and going wherever he has to make the profession better. I'd like to thank Adam Bello, President Roman, Legislator Udelson, Legislator Brew, and all those in the legislature for the constant support that the sheriff's office gets. You know, one of the things that's unique about the sheriff's office and much different than the rest of law enforcement is we do have so many different bureaus. You mentioned that we have a jail bureau where we take care of those that are incarcerated, and a court bureau, and now a jail and court bureau that you see around you every legislator meeting when they're here to provide safety at the legislator meetings. Our deputies are there all the time, right? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you call 911, a deputy's going to show up. The work that they do under the conditions that they do it is just incredible. The men and women of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office do a tremendous job every day. Whether it's saving a life, dealing with the robbery, delivering a baby, whatever it may be that comes their way that day, they're there to do it. You know, Sheriff's Week is next week. It's separate from Police Week. They do it in September every week to honor the Sheriff's Office because they are different. He is the only law enforcement professional that is elected, where he's actually answerable directly to the people and not through a separate politician. So every 4 years he's elected, and that's, you know, based on the Constitution, and it's based to make sure that the head law enforcement in the county is accountable to those people that we are here to protect and serve. We don't want to go through Sheriff's Week and not remember all those that have died while performing this duty. You know, you come to work and you never know what's going to happen that day. Since I've been on the job, I've had 2 close friends that have been murdered while working. And yet our deputies come here all the time to do this job. When you see a deputy this coming week, I encourage all of you to just thank them. Thank them for the work they're doing. Thank them for the sacrifice that they're doing, and just acknowledge the great work that they do. And I know that they're out there excited to provide support and safety for our community so that our community can prosper. Thank you.
Would Thera Blasio and Raquel Singletary please come forward? Also, President Eversha Roman, legislators Michael Udelson, Steve Brew, and County Executive Adam J. Bello.
Whereas Alzheimer's disease is a progressive degenerative brain disease that robs individuals of memory, independence, and quality of life, and is the most common cause of dementia, affecting more than 426,500 New Yorkers aged 65 and older, including countless beloved residents of Monroe County. And whereas World Alzheimer's Day, observed each year on September 21st, serves as an important opportunity to raise awareness, reduce stigma, and honor the courage of individuals living with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, as well as the families and caregivers who walk alongside them on this difficult journey. And whereas the toll of Alzheimer's disease extends far beyond those diagnosed, as an estimated 656,000 New Yorkers provide unpaid care for their loved ones living with Alzheimer's or other dementias, contributing more than 893 million hours of support, valued at $22.6 billion annually, a contribution of immeasurable compassion and sacrifice. And whereas here in Monroe County, that burden is felt in households, neighborhoods, and communities across our region, where families and caregivers offer daily care and comfort, and where the Alzheimer's Association Rochester and Finger Lakes chapter provides vital education and support services and advocacy that strengthen the quality of life for those impacted. And whereas recognizing World Alzheimer's Day allows us not only to honor those currently affected, but also to recommit ourselves as a community to expanding education, reducing stigma, supporting caregivers, and advancing the mission of building a future without Alzheimer's disease. Monroe County proudly affirms its dedication to health, dignity, and well-being for all residents, and calls upon every citizen to take part in raising awareness, offering compassion, and supporting the local and global efforts to end Alzheimer's once and for all. Now, therefore, we, Monroe County Executive Adam J. Bello, Monroe County Legislature President Eversha Roman, Majority Leader Michael Udelson, and Republican Leader Steve Brew, and the members of the Monroe County Legislature do hereby proclaim September 21st, 2025 to be a day to recognize World Alzheimer's Day.
Over 7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's. By 2050, this number is projected to rise to nearly 13 million. And as you just heard, in New York State alone, there are 426,500 people over age 65 living with Alzheimer's. Nearly 12 million Americans provide unpaid care for a family member or friend with dementia. And more than 55 million people across the world are affected by this terrible disease. World Alzheimer's Day, September 21st, is a global effort to raise awareness and challenge stigma. On behalf of the Alzheimer's Association's Rochester and Finger Lakes chapter, I would like to thank the Monroe County Legislature for this important proclamation and raising your voices in support. To quote filmmaker Scott Kirschenbaum, though those with Alzheimer's might forget us, we as a society must remember them. Thank you.
Okay. We'll move on to the presentation of formal committee reports. There are no formal committee reports scheduled for this evening. I will now recess the legislature to hold a public hearing. I now declare the public hearing entitled Amending Chapter 286 of the General Local Laws of Monroe County entitled Junior Deer Hunting Pilot Program.
No one is registered for this public hearing.
Okay, there being none, I declare this public hearing closed. The September 9th, 2025 meeting of the legislature is reconvened. We'll now hold the public forum. Thank you to everyone who has signed up for the public forum. We ask that everyone maintain decorum during this time. We will not tolerate any disruptions during the meeting from the gallery. A second warning will be issued before a deputy will be asked to remove you from the gallery. We have several people registered to address the legislature, Mr. Clerk.
If you require assistance, a deputy is available to assist you in approaching the lectern. I will call 3 people forward at one time. Each speaker will have 2 minutes in which to address the legislature. Please do not bring up any signs or props. Do not single out any legislators, and please conclude when the buzzer sounds, and thank you for your cooperation. Our first 3 speakers are Paul Frisella, Lori Thomas, and Maria Gonzalez.
Artificial intelligence, although beneficial, often has risks. The most serious risk is becoming too dependent on it. Already, we are too dependent on other forms of technology, such as phones and computers. Time is the greatest resource we have. Don't waste time becoming addicted and dependent on phones and computers. The same goes for artificial intelligence. We must not be dependent or addicted to it. Most forms of artificial intelligence are machines that are not as smart as a human. But as time goes on, if we are not careful, some of these machines of artificial intelligence nature may have the power to think and be aggressive. Such a mechanical creature must be kept from being a nuisance by people especially equipped to look out for this. Artificial intelligence should be continually monitored to keep it from becoming a hazard.
Thank you.
To start.
Yes.
Good evening. Our elected public servants have been visible in the news lately. There have been ribbon cuttings and award ceremonies highlighting all the wonderful things being done for and in Rochester and Monroe County with taxpayer dollars. I never know when any of these events occur unless I just happen upon them, usually when they are over. Yet I see the CEOs of community organizations at these events. I see state assembly members at these events. I see the familiar faces of individuals who work for the city and county or for one of the NFPs that work with the city and county at these events. I get notification of these events, but always after they have happened. I never seem to be on the invitation mailing list. Why is that? Why is it that Mr. Bello never returned my calls concerning my foreclosure a few years ago? Why is it that when I ask questions, I never receive an answer, not even the respectful recognition that I asked a question? That is, however, how you treat someone for whom you have no respect. I know this because you all respect each other enough to answer and return questions and calls from one another. You respect each other enough to listen to and promote each other's ideas, concerns, and solutions. You even respect each other enough to invite each other to political and private affairs where you can support each other's platforms. I am a taxpayer, and like so many taxpayers, we are ignored, shut out, put through metal detectors, and given only 2 minutes to express our concerns. You control our tax dollars and our voice, and we're becoming more frustrated and growing stronger. We, the people, are beginning to see the corruption that controls funding. We, the people, are coming out of the fog of ignorance and taking our rightful place, not as politicians, but as citizens who care about our community, our city, our county, and our state. The days of quiet complacency are coming to an end. Integrity, humanity, respect for everyone are becoming important. There's time to change your direction and understand that you are no longer in charge, but are in check. And a new narrative is emerging. We, the people, are the government. You are public servants, and life is a choice. God bless you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maria Gonzalez. I'm here and I'm going to let you know who I am because I've been coming here and I don't let you know who I am. I got here to Rochester in 1982. I had a bad experience. My first granddaughter was murdered by the father. She was only a week old, okay? So I got involved in crime, violence, drug addiction, and about bullying for youth. And I decided to go more. So I got into United Way leadership. So I graduated from there. Now I got my experience from ASAC, KSAC as a mental and hygiene and everything for bullying and kids. So I informed myself all the trainings and stuff like that so I can go out there in the community and help and let them know where they can get the help. So I'm here so they can tell and help Delphi Care. Delphi Care is a good organization. They help the homeless, they help the mental health, drug addiction, and stuff like that. And they need all the help they can get. So I'm here so they support them so they can get all the need that they can, so they can keep opening to the public. So thank you.
Thank you.
Our next three speakers are Charles Johnson, Shaza Frey, and Francisco Urbina.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here on behalf as a concerned citizen of my town, a member of the Gates Conservation Advisory Board, and a member of the Environmental Management Council for Monroe County, among other things. And most of all, I am a tree hugger. So I am here to let everyone know, before you take the vote, 4254 Lyle Road does not meet the ag requirements. Not to be the thorn in the side. It is an unlicensed landfill, property being used as a dump. The soil should have core samples all around. It is killing the trees. You can see it from the front. You can notice it because the top of the trees are dead. That means it's dying from the root, which it gets its nutrients from the soil. let's see what else. I'm not going to repeat all the horror stories from last month. They were pretty bad if you were here. The only thing I want to point out is the chemicals that could be contaminating the soil front and back all around. I have you all a handout. This talks about the definition of what an agriculture is according to United States and the requirements for New York, and it does not meet that. You guys can read that later. With that said, I moved in Gates in 2016. I love it there. And I would like to point out that I like to keep Gates clean. I think the last thing, I guess, mostly for my Republican friends, our argument should be mostly about the solar farms that don't produce food compared to a farm that has taken advantage of the ag name that doesn't produce anything. And thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Francisco Urbina, and I speak today as a homeowner, resident, and business owner at 51 Thomas Avenue. I stand in strong opposition to the proposed changes to Thomas Avenue. The letter we received from Monroe County Department of Transportation was misleading. It failed to mention the removal of centuries-old trees, the widening of the road, specifically by the Seneca School area, the significant impact that's going to have in our front yards, in our neighborhood character. These trees are not just beautiful, they are essential. They cool our homes, they protect our families, and add value to our properties. Removing them will increase energy costs, reduce safety, and destroy what makes West Irondequoit special. This is a historic, walkable neighborhood with a proud Tree City USA designation. The widening near the Seneca Road Elementary will only encourage speeding and endanger children. I have seen firsthand how dangerous this street can be. In 2020, a distracted driver flipped her car in front of our house, and we were not affected only because one of the trees that's slated for removal was there to stop that vehicle. We demand transparency, safety, and respect for our community. We do not oppose, by the way, the improvements on the road or the new sidewalk installations. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Our next three speakers are Andrea Porter, Kevin Lockhart, and Terrence Schnurr.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Porter, a lifelong resident of Irondequoit and a member of Color Irondequoit Green. Currently, I have children and grandchildren living in the same town. I've always cared about the environment, but currently, like so many others, with much more of an intensity. We're living with the frightening and growing consequences of global warming and their effects on the lives of our children, grandchildren, and all those in our community. Our Color Irondequoit Green Group is grateful that last December, our Monroe County Legislature unanimously approved the 2025 budget for the Climate Action Plan, including a $5,000 matching grant for school districts wishing to implement new initiatives to divert food waste from landfills. I'm pleased to say my 10-year-old granddaughter is a member of a green team at Rogers School, a receiver of one of these grants for this school year. We're also grateful for the funds to continue progress on climate action initiatives, including a newly hired position of a sustainability engineer to work on the implementation of the climate action plan. This is a move forward towards our ask to continue investing in staffing for an effective and efficient rollout of our county's thoughtful, detailed plans. I left petitions at home that were signed by members of our Color Irondequoit Green group regarding capping the Gloria Drive landfill in Penfield. We are grateful to hear that the county just approved a study of the methane release from this landfill, and then we'll decide on best ways to cap it. Thank you for this. One ask from Colorado Green tonight is for the rollout of the 2026-27 Food Waste Diversion Grant Program for the schools, like the one I shared gratitude for, to open as early as possible, no later than January, and remain open for a minimum of 3 months. This takes into account the constraints of school district budget calendars and the effort needed to convene appropriate stakeholders and decision makers to move a project like this forward.
Ma'am, please wrap up.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
Hi, today I would like to address the violent, unlawful assembly that occurred at Westminster and East Ave earlier. I'm going to play a couple seconds of this uploaded from the legislature.
Point of order, it's not a prop.
Point of order, sustained.
It is a prop. Thank you for understanding.
That was shared by a county legislator, and it shows the psychotic, lunatic fringe of the political extremists and acolytes of Metro Justice. They went to this event to disrupt a procedure by federal American agents. They slashed the tires of the Border Patrol agents. It was an absolute chaotic scene. And this is something that we have to be very, very careful of as legislators, all of you as legislators, because we should have absolutely zero tolerance for political violence. And when we validate these types of events that ultimately end with masked criminals and thugs slashing Border Patrol vehicles' tires, it is very, very concerning. I myself have been subject to political violence in the streets by the folks who show up to the events, whether they travel in or whether they're part of the local extremist groups, who knows. But the bottom line is that that's something we should absolutely altogether have a zero tolerance policy for. I don't like to see all this the mumbo jumbo coming from the legislature, coming from any of the legislators or the administrators. And if it were up to me, I would have had it all resolved, because when I heard that it was happening, I called 911 and I called the troopers. And then I was going to try to call the sheriffs. And the bottom line is that RPD has been directed not to respond to these incidents. So we have American agents being accosted. And okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I had been looking forward to talking to you tonight about my pet topic, redistricting, but then yesterday happened. Our county executive, who has been conspicuously silent for more than 16 months about the gross misconduct of his former boss, wasted no time in filing a misconduct complaint against a judge who has made a few decisions he disagrees with. I know Judge Lopez only by reputation. I strongly suspect there is some overlap and some stark differences in our worldview. If I had full knowledge of all the facts and relevant law in these cases, I might say the judge's decision was wrong. Even the best judges sometimes make decisions that are wrong. The question of whether it is misconduct comes down to a single question. I'm not an expert on criminal law or New York criminal procedure, but I know that a judge who has been assigned a case has the authority to change the conditions of release, even when those conditions were set by another judge. The only question is whether a judge may do so sua sponte, on his own initiative. Why I believe this should be allowed is that I think it would be wrong to require a judge to keep a prisoner locked up simply because their defense attorney was unavailable or incompetent. The county executive accuses Judge Lopez of acting like a defense attorney. If that is misconduct, I could make a career out of accusing judges of acting like prosecutors. I note that no attorney has accused Judge Lopez of misconduct. Perhaps that's because, unlike randos on social media, traditional media personalities, and political science majors who are career politicians, an attorney who makes a spurious accusation of misconduct against a judge would themselves face professional discipline. Thank you and have a good night.
Our next public forum speaker is Jason Pessin. Lucky you.
All
right, you can start it then.
Okay, welcome.
My name's Jason Pessin. I'm a proud Republican from Greece, New York, where we're doing great things with our schools. I just wanted to congratulate everything that our school board and our schools doing in the new year. I also wanted to thank the RPD, Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Customs and Border Patrol of the Rochester, Monroe County area, as well as state troopers. Also, I wanted to mention that today, also on East Ave, we had Customs and Border Patrol agents' tires slashed. We had certain legislators, I won't name them, that called for today as a proud day to be a Rochesterian. That's interesting because tires were slashed, taxpayer money, and we're proud of that. That's interesting. And you legislators who were there and other county representatives, Jeremy Cooney, you were there quicker than I can say Jeffrey Rogers. How's that one? Where were you when Gilberto Morales Cruz was murdered last month? You weren't there that quick. Where were you when I kayaked the Genesee River looking for Zajay St. Pierre? When 1,200 people shared that post on Facebook and I, with only 7 other people, kayaked that river looking for him. You weren't there as quick as I can say Jeffrey Rogers. 17 times a day you tweet. Does anybody know who I'm talking about yet? Tom Holman has your name.
Oh. Thank you. Grab your hat, please. No, there you go.
This concludes the public forum.
Okay. At this time, we'll recess the September 9th, 2025 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature, and we will convene the Rochester Pure Waters District of the Pure Waters Administrative Board. Mr. Clerk, please note the attendance and read the first item on the agenda.
PWeb agenda item number 1, referral 25-0271, authorizing contract with Blue Heron Construction Company for general construction services for Rochester Pure Waters District Frank E. Van Laer wastewater treatment plant aeration system improvements project.
Move it.
Moved by legislator Mafucci, seconded by legislator Hugh Smith. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. We will now recess the Rochester Pure Waters District and adjourn the Pure Waters Administrative Board. I will now reconvene the September 9th, 2025 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature. And we will now proceed with the consideration of local laws. Will the clerk please read the first item on the agenda?
Item number 1,
President?
Yes, legislator Houston.
I move that we consider the entire agenda as a whole. Or excuse me, am I too early with the local laws?
Yeah, why don't we just...
I move nothing at this point.
Item number 1, referral 25-0268.LL, providing that local law entitled amending Chapter 286 of the General Local Laws of Monroe County entitled Junior Deer Hunting Pilot Program be lifted from the table.
Move it. Moved by legislator Barnhart, seconded by legislator Baines. This is to lift from the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 2, referral 25-0268.LL, providing that local law entitled amending Chapter 286 of the General Local Laws of Monroe County entitled Junior Deer Hunting Pilot Program be adopted.
Move it. Second. Moved by legislator Barnhart, seconded by legislator Mafucci? Baines? Second by legislator McCabe. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. We'll now proceed with the consideration of motions, resolutions, and notices. Will the clerk read the next item on the agenda? Legislator Udelson.
Madam President, now I move that we consider the agenda as a whole, with the exception of items number 3, 4, 23, 24, and 25.
Moved by legislator Udelson. Second by legislator Brew. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. We now move on to item number.
Should be on item number 3,
Yep.
correct?
Yes.
Item number 3, referral 25-0202, providing that resolution entitled 8-Year Review of Monroe County Agricultural District Number 5 and District Number 6, and consolidating Monroe County District Number 6 into District Number 5, forming Monroe County Agricultural District Number 5, be lifted from the table.
Move it.
Moved by legislator Frazier, seconded by legislator Smith. This is to lift from the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Is it just one though? Just the one? Was that legislator Vasquez Simmons?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. 27-1, motion to lift from the table passes.
Item carries. Next item.
Item number 4, referral 25-0202, providing that resolution entitled 8-Year Review of Monroe County Agricultural District Number 5 and District Number 6, and consolidating Monroe County District Number 6 into District Number 5, forming Monroe County Agricultural District Number 5, be adopted.
Move it.
Moved by legislator Frazier, seconded by legislator Smith. This is to adopt. Is there any discussion? Legislator McIntyre.
I rise to explain my vote. First of all, I'd like to thank all of my colleagues who put this back on the table so that we had an extra month for the town of Gates to look into this, do their due diligence, talk to the DEC, talk to New York Ag and Markets. I'd like to thank all of my colleagues for supporting, well, all the colleagues that did. And all of you that listened, to the residents of District 4 that came here last month so passionately to speak on the issue of the parcel located at 4254 Lyle Road. Since our last meeting, there have been several investigations by the DEC. I'd also like to thank the DEC that even today we spent about an hour and a half on the phone discussing prior settlements, the investigation, where they stand on this property, my specific concerns. My specific concerns on this property are that we do not know what's happening in the back of the property with the soil. If there are things that are damaging the viability of that soil. The DEC has said to me that as far as the front of the property goes, yes, there are inherited damages to the front of the property, but there's still growing concern about what's happening in the back, and there certainly isn't time to do everything that needs to be done as of today. I want to thank farmers across 3 counties that took the time to speak with me, especially those farmers out in Ontario County who are dealing with an environmental disaster right now because of concerns from their towns that really found themselves up against paperwork and red tape very similar to what is happening in District 4 right now with this particular property. That being said, I must support my residents and vote this down tonight. Although I have no other issue with this particular referral and the consolidation of the districts and the project that the Farm Protection Bureau has put forth to us tonight outside of the property at 4254 Lyle Road. I would like to thank once again everybody that's taken an interest in this, everyone who has supported me in my investigations, the people that took the time out of their days to visit with this particular neighbor, to look at the property, to see what's happening. And with that, of course, I will be voting no. But I yield the floor tonight because obviously for the rest of the farmers in this district, this referral needs to move forward. That is why I did not vote against lifting it from the table. And I yield my vote to simply saying that I vote no this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Bonnick.
Madam Chair, I rise to explain my vote as well. But first, I want to thank my colleagues here on this side of the aisle. When I brought this to their attention, they took a pause. They supported me in wanting to find out more about this issue. And so I want to first thank them for doing that. I voted to lift this from the table because I realized that, farmers we need to get on with the business of the legislator and allow farmers to continue the business of farming. I am not against farmers. I love farmers. I grew up in Jamaica, the product of a farming family. So I know what it is like or what farming looks like. And so when this was brought to my attention and I went out and I took a look at this particular parcel, it pains me to say I did not recognize one thing on there that resembled farming as I know it. And so I did my due diligence and now we're where we are. We're going to vote on this issue today and I will vote no. Because I've learned during all of this that while Monroe County plays a key role in supporting the Ag District, New York State Agriculture and Market Law provides the legal foundation that guides the way Monroe County implements and manages that program. And until most recently, myself and other legislators was unaware that this appears to be a process that operated with very little oversight. As long as there was no one like the town of Gates who come before us yelling from the roof for help to decide what constitutes farming. I was surprised to learn that as long as your land was deemed viable farmland, you could enjoy the rights, privilege, and benefits of being in the Ag District, whether or not, I'm sorry, I'm losing my place where I am here. Whether you choose to farm today, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, you get to enjoy, you get to enjoy the privilege and benefits of being in the Ag District, whether you choose to farm today or 5 years from today. A farm can be petitioned to be added in annually. Once added, there appears to be very little review or oversight for another 8 years when the district comes up for review again. This system was designed to protect, shield, and encourage the continuation of viable farming operations. However, it lacks oversight, which makes it difficult to hold those who are doing the basic bare minimum accountable for their actions, which is what we have seen come up in the town of Gates. I urge my colleagues to join with me in seeking answers to the many questions that has come to light during this discussion. I'm going to yield the floor, but I'm going to vote no because, as I said, for this particular parcel in the ag district requires some further review. And that is why I'm voting no. I yield to you, Madam Fern. Again, I want to thank my colleagues for, supporting me through this process.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay. Seeing none, roll call vote?
Mr. Udelson?
Yes.
Mr. Udelson votes yes. Mr. Brew? Mr. Brew votes yes. Ms. Barnhart?
Yes.
Ms. Barnhart votes yes. Ms. Bartholomew McCoy?
Yes.
Ms. Bartholomew McCoy votes yes. Mr. Baines? Mr. Baines votes yes. Mr. Blankley? Mr. Blankley votes yes. Ms. Bonnick? Ms. Bonnick votes no. Mr. Burgess?
Yes.
Mr. Burgess votes yes. Mr. Chardy? Mr. Chardy votes yes. Mr. Colby? Mr. Colby votes yes. Mr. Cruz?
No.
Mr. Cruz votes no. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman? Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman votes no. Mrs. DeFlorio? Mrs. DeFlorio votes yes. Mr. Dondorfer?
Yes.
Mr. Dondorfer votes yes. Mr. Frazier? Mr. Frazier votes no. Ms. Hasman? Ms. Hasman votes yes. Ms. Hugh Smith? Ms. Hugh Smith votes yes. Mr. Johns? Mr. Johns votes yes. Mr. Keller? Mr. Keller votes yes. Mr. Long? Mr. Long votes yes. Mr. Mafucci?
Yes.
Mr. Mafucci votes yes. Mr. McCabe? Mr. McCabe votes yes. Ms. McIntyre? Ms. McIntyre votes no. Mr. Milne is excused. Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Morris votes yes. Mr. Sinclair? Mr. Sinclair votes yes. Ms. Smith? Ms. Smith votes yes. Ms. Vasquez Simmons?
No.
Ms. Vasquez Simmons votes no. President Roman?
Yes.
President Roman votes yes. 22-6, resolution passes. Item number 23, referral 25-0297, confirming appointment to Monroe County Soil and Water Conservation Board.
Moved by legislator Barnhart, second by legislator Baines. Is there any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Just a heads up, I messed up the agenda, so your agenda that you saw is different than what I'm going to say now. Item number 24, referral 25-0298, approving collective bargaining agreement between Monroe County Executive, Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and Monroe County Sheriff's Deputies Association.
Second.
Moved by legislator Long, seconded by legislator Mafucci, as well as Colby, McCabe, Keller, John,
Dondorfer.
McIntyre, Dondorfer, and Sinclair,
Okay,
and Vasquez Simmons. It's only supposed to be 4.
I'm just going to put, is there anybody that doesn't want to second it on this side? Just trying to mark everybody down.
Got it. Oh, I'm sorry. I heard something outside. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President.
Yes, legislator Baines.
Like prior contracts that came to us as matters of urgency, I think a number of questions are appropriate to educate ourselves in the community about this contract. So I have a number of questions. The first is, in plain English, what specific members of the Sheriff's Department belong to the bargaining unit, Monroe County Deputy Sheriff's Association, Inc.?
I'll turn the mic on. Through the president, it's all those that work in the jail that are deputy, sergeant, and corporal.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President, how many members of this specific bargaining unit are there? $485. Thank you. Through you to the administration. We're looking at wage increases to the schedule can you explain how that's different from a year-over-year raise for an individual moving on schedule?
Through the president, each year a deputy moves down the steps. So when you are hired at the entry level, and then each year you get an additional step, barring that you have a performance approval that's positive. So you get the 6% annualized over the salary schedule, but each step there is also an increase among the steps as well.
Correct. This is how teachers' contracts used to be written. So what would the range of raises be for individuals on the schedule when we calculate their year-over-year schedule, or step increase might be the term we use, and then the enhanced raise from these alterations to the schedule of 6%, 6.15, and 5.85? Through you, Madam President.
Through the president, as somebody moves through the steps, roughly there's about a 4% difference between the steps.
So that, for instance, as an example, through you, Madam President, in the first year, an individual who was going to get a 4% raise would get, on average, a 10% raise.
Yeah, if they were not at top step through the president.
Correct. And how many steps are there in the schedule?
Seven steps through the president.
So the what comparables were used, or let me step back, Madam President, through you. Did you benchmark this contract against other contracts in the state and region?
Through the president, we do take into consideration the comparables around our region and people that we are competing for with people. Yes. We looked at, we reviewed things from New York State, Erie, Ontario County, and Onondaga also. And then there's also other elements in the contract, not just monetary, that we look at as well.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President, the item 3 in the referral letter refers to roll call pay. What entitles an individual to roll call pay?
Through the president, so all our deputies are required to show up to work 15 minutes prior to their shift. They don't get paid the hourly rate for that. So even though they're working 8 hours, they have to be there 15 minutes early, they don't get paid the extra money for that time. And instead they do the roll call pay as a group per pay period. Now, when you look at the sergeants, which are different, and they're actually different in the contract, it's because they have to arrive even earlier and make sure the schedule is put together correctly, which is extremely difficult with so many moving parts, where they're taking calls at home, figuring out who's coming into work, what constant watches they have, how many details they have out, and all of those things. So they're at least 30 minutes early. So it's to take care of that extra time that they're not getting the hourly wage for.
Thank you, Undersheriff. And through you, Madam President, it mentions that all the bargaining unit members will move to a high deductible health insurance plan. What would the employee contribution be for the cost of that plan?
Through the president, in the first year, the contribution per pay period for a single person is $40. For two person and family, it's $80. And then in years 2 and 3, it is $50 per pay period for a single person and $100 for a 2-person or family. Through the president.
Thank you. Can you speak to the cost of a family high deductible plan to the county? What's our cost for that plan for, say, I don't know if the numbers are out for 2026 yet, but what would the cost be for the 2025 high deductible health insurance plan? You can either give the aggregate costs with the employee and the employer put together, or just the employer cost, please. Through you, Madam President.
Through the president, we're getting that for you right now. If you just give us a moment. Through the president, roughly it is $7,600 for a single, 17,000 for a two-person, and 20,000 for a family plan annually.
Thank you. So, and I appreciate that some of these numbers are estimates, because it's a moving target with the healthcare industry. And they're escalating costs, which are remarkable. But through you, Madam President, have you calculated the savings to the county for the movement of our employees, say for a typical contract? Let's say pick one. A family contract, what would the savings be to the county for this new change for a family contract next year, or let's say it's applied to this year, since we might not have next year's numbers? Through you, Madam President.
Through the president, the estimated cost savings to the county over the life of the contract is a little over $150,000.
So the current, through you, Madam President, we can assume then that the current family plan is significantly higher than the high deductible plan that we're moving everyone into. Is that fair to say?
Through the president, yes.
So I'd like to explain my vote. You know, as has happened in the past with these very large dollar amount contracts, when there are matters of urgency, we have no briefing. I happen to have spent a lot of my life negotiating contracts exactly like this, so I do know a little bit about them. I super appreciate the responsiveness and to the questions. They're not meant to be impertinent, they're meant to educate. And as a result of the answers being clear, and now my understanding of how to contextualize the amount of money, we're talking about $6,712,235 in costs for 485 employees. Those are adding the 3 years. Now, obviously, the first year is recurring. So the first year is, you got to multiply by 3, second year by 2. And the third year, of course, is just the third year. That's 13.6 million. But understanding that that applies to 485 employees is a very different thing from it applying to 200. And, you know, I'd recommend that we put the number of employees covered by these type of agreements in the referral letter so that we can have a better feel for how many individuals are affected. But I will be voting in the affirmative for a contract that clearly appears to have been negotiated in good faith by all sides. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Colby.
Through you, Madam President. Of the 485, is that positions or is that how many employees they are presently?
Through the president, legislator, you're asking how many positions this encompasses that are filled? I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
Well, my question is, through Madam Chair, President, we have 485. Is that how many employees we have now and how many vacancies do we have?
Through the president, currently, according with when I checked today in SAP, 3 vacancies in the jailer corporal title and 3 vacancies in the jailer sergeant title. Through the president.
Through the president, either the sheriff's office or the administration can answer this question. Will this or this contract help us recruit more people to get those vacancies reduced? Because I think that's very important for the citizens of my community.
Through the president, yes. Obviously, this contract definitely helps us increase our staffing. We're also doing well by hiring some members that used to work for the state that are looking. So we are looking within the next year to have all the vacancies filled. Obviously, it's fluid and people are constantly leaving.
but to really catch up that number with some good hiring at the end of this year and the beginning of next year.
One final question to you, President. Since you brought up the jail deputies or the deputies, the jail people from the state that have been let go, does this salary range comparable to what they were earning when they worked for the state?
Through the president, it's closer to comparable. It's still behind, but the working conditions and the environment are so much better that they're very happy when they come over.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator McCabe.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to take a moment to thank everybody for all their hard work in this contract. Having been a public safety union guy for a long time, I understand the effort and the energy that goes into it. So I want to thank HR. I want to thank the Sheriff's Administration, the County Executive's Office for doing this, the Sheriff himself. But I truly want to thank all the members that are covered in this collective bargaining unit. They do an amazing job for the residents and citizens of this county every day. And I truly appreciate what they do from a public safety standpoint and the dedication, and they nearly don't get the recognition they deserve. So I just want to send a heartfelt thanks to them and everybody that worked on this contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Hugh Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. I just rise to explain my vote. My comments should be considered a commentary on our work, not a commentary on the work of the Sheriff's Department. As I've said before, I do not doubt that those who join the Sheriff's Department have done so to serve the public, and I respect that decision. There are many jobs that can contribute to public safety. However, not all of these jobs are recognized for that contribution, not even when they serve some of our most vulnerable community members, like children. So when equally dangerous and difficult jobs, ones that struggle with high vacancy and low retention rates, do not receive similar percentage increases in their contracts, I cannot in good conscience support this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Is it just the one?
No, two. Legislator
Legislator
Valkio.
Rebecca Hoffman and Legislator Hugh Smith. 25-2, resolution passes.
Great, thank you. Next item. Item carries. Next item.
Item number 25, referral 25-0299, amending 2025 capital budget, increasing funding for a project entitled Construction of a 9/11 First Responders Memorial at Highland Park, and authorizing interfund transfer and decreasing funding for a project entitled Buildings and Structures.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Bain, seconded by Legislator Mafucci. Is there, as well as Vasquez Simmons and McCabe and Sinclair, and McIntyre and DeFlorio. All right, and Johns. Any discussion?
I do.
I'm sorry, discussion, Legislator Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Through you, Madam Chair, I just have one question. I know that we have different memorials throughout the city, like the one for the veterans in Highland Park. And I've noticed in the past that there's been issues with maintenance and having the appropriate funds for maintenance. So I'm kind of wondering if there would be allocated funds for future maintenance of this memorial, which I'm all for, or would it be up to volunteers in the future to help with the upkeep of the surrounding landscape of the memorial?
Through you, Madam President, the department will conduct all maintenance efforts at this memorial in perpetuity utilizing existing funds budgeted annually.
Through you, Madam Chair, Thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure that a memorial of this magnitude is always looking, the best that it could be and represents the hard work that firefighters, police officers, and first responders have made throughout the years and on that special day for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator DeFlorio.
Yeah. What project, this one you applied for, and if there's any projects that's full.
Able to move forward as a result of this decrease in funding.
Through you, Madam President, the Buildings and Structures Capital Fund within the Parks Department is a cash capital fund, which is budgeted annually. These funds are utilized for a variety of different projects throughout the park system, be it restroom improvements, walkways, parking lots, et cetera. At this time, we do not anticipate any projects not being able to be accomplished by the movement of these funds.
Okay, any other discussion? I have a question. The increased costs, what are they being attributed to?
To the president, unfortunately, the bidding atmosphere, we had 6 bidders on this project. The spread was significant and the low bid came in higher than the engineer's estimate. So we would attribute that to the bidding environment.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Okay. Next item. Nope, there being no unfinished business. My
Madam Chair.
apologies, Legislator Udelson, yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we stand adjourned until 6 p.m. on Tuesday, October 14th.
All right, thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.